now it's giving me, and this one, it put something on my hoodies. It did not follow directions. This one, she's kind of hugging tight and kind of squishing her way. Beautiful image. I don't like the mock-up potential of this one. Same thing here. Image number 4, I do like, but I could show you how to basically crop off a part of the image. That's what I'm going to do on the Photoshop version of our session tonight. So let's say I do like 2 and 4. So I'm going to upscale 2 and 4. Now I'm going to show you a couple of more moves that you can do with this before you bring it into Photoshop. I choose to change my colors of the product in Photoshop. I feel like it's more practical. Some of you may not want to change colors at all. Y'all just may want to be able to, slap your image on there and go. The reason why I like to be able to change my colors is because I want to get very specific with the kind of pink or very specific with the kind of blue. And you're not going to be able to exactly do that in navy blue. It's maybe not the one that Gildan sells. Okay. And then what you'll have to do is you'll have to adjust your colors anyway in Photoshop. Oh, hold on, y'all. My bun over here just decided not to be bunning no more. It just turned into it looked like a toupee. um, let's have some fun with this before we bring it over into Photoshop. Just wanted to show you some things. So I can take this image here and I vary the image. So I can tell it that I want to vary it subtle. And maybe all I want to do instead of blank white gilding, maybe I want it to be a blank right again this time. All right. And that's a way of being able to change the colors without having you all. You can do that. And that one did not varied enough. Let me try very strong and tell it that I want a red hoodie. Now, the other option is to do the region, which I think will do better. Let me run that. So I did a very strong, this was a very subtle. I did a very strong. Now I'm going to do a very region. And I'm going to take my lasso tool and go where the sweatshirt is, where the sweatshirts are. Kind of letting it know that I'm really focused more on the sweatshirts and not their faces and stuff. And then this time I'm going to do a red hoodie. Forward with that and see what happens. All right, so when I varied it strong, it did take over the white. So you see it did start giving me some red in there, which is beautiful. It was like, I don't know if you be red or white. Let me give you some in the middle. Let me give you some pink. Actually, I like this one best as far as the drawstrings and it already being blank and clean. I would just, change those colors up in Photoshop. And then we also have the version where it varied by region. And you can see that one is trying to recreate the image area there too. But it still kept the balloons in the background. Everything else that I did not select is staying the same. All right, all right. Thank you, Levi. So Nicole, you're in the home area. Before I move on for a second, let me make sure that everyone was anybody not able to create a hoodie from a t-shirt? Like we all started with t-shirts, but now we should be able to create hoodies. If you're not able to create your hoodies, then let me know in the chat because if you use that exact prompt that I gave you, you should be pulling up some pretty decent hoodies. Okay. All right. And I'm looking here. Nicole, what is it not doing for you, love? And when y'all say I'm having problems, you're gonna have to let me know what the problem is so I can understand what the problem is and what room you're in. Oh, this one's too cute. And just to let you know too, if you start referencing numbers of people or numbers of a certain item that you want, it may not give you that don't just mean 2 or you don't mean 1,000. So when I told her to give me 6 little girls dancing, it gave me 5, but I'm happy with that because mom is no longer wearing the tutu and the little girls are wearing the tutus. Cute stuff. All right. So let me check on y'all. Baby shower is giving everything but hoodies. Okay, let's check on that. I think everything's looking good in here. Are you in version 6 or version 5? Okay, and let me try. I'm going to try the same prompt here, see what we can do here. Now, what I can do is I can vary the read some kind of hoodie here, but it's like some kind of futuristic something here. So maybe what I want to do is just select this region because I like, and then just re-push that. And the other thing is you want to start upscaling things that you like so it understands what you like. Hoodie. All right, it looks like this one is generating some new images with hopefully with the hoodie. Start getting a little, for instance, I want to prompt here. I want to tell it she's wearing a blank. And did I misspell gilding? Gilding 18500 hoodie. And then what I'm gonna take out, she's 25 years old. And then I'll keep the background the same here. And let's see by just kind of reducing some of the conversation, reducing some of focus is more on the hoodie. Go ahead and try the hoodies, and then you can also try there's a sweatshirt as well. And the reason why I'm giving you these particular products is because these are the top 3 products that sell on Printify, which is people need, and then also good indication of these should be products that you're selling. All right, yeah, it is giving us everything but a hoodie. So I'm gonna get a little more lean here, and I'm just gonna say wearing this mock-up. I'm gonna get simple. So what happens is you're training this room. You can do is you can start simplifying your expressions first, get it to where you need it to be, and then expand it past that. Because background that okay, well. Did I put preg man? No, I did not. I typed that. I don't even know how that happened. I don't know how that happened, but it did finally give you a hoodie. It's just on a preg man. Okay. A female, pregnant. Let me see how that goes. Seeing how to, of course, generate your mock-up with a t-shirt, generate your mock-up with a sweatshirt or a hoodie or both, and then also be able to change some of the elements in the image. So you should be able to change the background if you want. Like if you want the background, this like this looks like it might be like a train station. This looks like it might be outdoors at a park in the fall. You can change your background. Okay, so it's kinda sorta giving me pregnant-ish vibes, but now that it's giving me pregnant woman adding in the background elements. So now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna forward slash do my imagine, paste here, and I'm gonna put that she's at a baby shower with blue balloons. Okay, and I'm just gonna let that go. I'm gonna keep it simple first, and then you can elaborate on it further. All right. Nicole, the suggestions to add to the background, I would just describe some scenes, like tell it just outdoor. As long as you shower outdoor. It may give you balloons outdoors. It may give you like a hay setup or scenario where it still looks like a background so much. You just want to make sure that you're giving the theme and then let the program help you decide on what the design for that background. All right, so this looks more like it. Hoodie. I see a little baby bump a little bit there. Okay. I see the balloons in the background. So now you can start developing that theme a little bit more to get some different results, but I think that looks really good. And remember, the whole purpose here is to sell the t-shirt. So I know we may want some whole back from selling the t-shirt. So whether you're doing a mug or a t-shirt or a tumbler, anything like that, you can actually mock those type. All right, and then volleyball. Let me check volleyball, and then I'm going to head over to Photoshop and maybe even some Canva.
Think I
Okay,
have
showing the hoodies now. Sometimes it got so used to doing the last thing, you kind of have to, train it to go a different route. But it looks like it's going there. Looks good. All right. Good deal. Ventures, were you saying something? Because the audio just cut out.
get balls.
It's not letting but like maybe one every 5 syllables come through. It's cutting you off. Okay. All right. So I think what I'm going to do, let me check out my little kid's birthday. I like this little unicorn theme here. So I'm going to upscale this one, upscale number 1. And then I'm going to take the same one and show you what I would do to get the hoodie. I still want to keep the blank white. Oh, Lord. It goes into this whole situation here again. So let me see if I can just type this, copy and paste this again. And this time I'm just going to put hoodie. And I might even take the word blank out because I want to make sure it doesn't think I'm trying to do anything inappropriate here. Yes. So Tracy, that's one of the things I'm going to show you in the mock-up for tonight. I want to take a hoodie and I want to show you in the mock-up. All right, so hopefully I'm going to get a pretty hoodie here. Now, whatever I show you how to do on the hoodie, the exact theme is going to be true to do to a t-shirt. So I'd rather show you on one of the most difficult products and then let you all see how you would make that work for a t-shirt or, oh, how do you mute the prompting sounds? Great question, Sharon. You come right up here to the top and then you click on the AI-012 models for mockup. Then what I want you to do is go to notification settings, and I have mine on mute all. Mute it until I turn it back on, which would be never. Okay, and then I hit done. All right, good question. All right, so let's see. I think I'm gonna prompt this one more time. I want to see some interesting background here. So instead of just doing it as a remix, I'm going to I'm going to do pastel unicorn party theme background and let it give me another hoodie here. All right, and a t-shirt is easy. So I'm going to take this one, open in a browser. While it's making that hoodie, I'm going to show you how to do the t-shirt. So once it opens it in the browser, I'm going to save image as, save it on my downloads there. There we go. Now it's got my party background. Ooh, I'm loving the little embellishments here. Super cool. All right, now see the difference between this one, number one, gave me a crew neck sweatshirt, and number two gave me a hoodie. Hmm. I like number one, but it didn't give me a hoodie. So if I want to upscale one, I have a sweatshirt version of it, but then I want to vary this by region. And I'm going to go like around her neckline here to let it know it did not give me a hoodie. And hopefully it reads that. But I like it's got like embellishment. It looks like beads and stuff. And I'm gonna go right here on that shoulder part too. So it should give me a hoodie. And I'm not changing the prompt at all. I'm just pushing it forward and hoping it gives me a hoodie. But I do like this sweatshirt design too. And I could take this image off of the front here. So I'm gonna open a browser and save that image. And let me see. I'm gonna upscale number two and number four, see which one looks better to me. Upscale two and upscale four. And this one doesn't have a crazy background, but when you think about it, when you look at magazines and everything else, they're not giving you crazy backgrounds. They want you to focus on the clothes. So I think this does well. Let me grab that one for our hoodie. And I was hoping it was going to give me a hoodie here, but it still wanted to do a sweatshirt, which is cool because I have a hoodie now. I just really like her hair. I just think it's a little odd, her hands and the placement with the hoodie, so I'm not about to fool with that. Of course, you can go very region. If you really thought that her hands looked a little weird here, you can go here and just let it have another shot. Okay, so I think I have what I need. I'm gonna go into Photoshop now. And I'm gonna show you some basic things you can do in Canva, just as a precursor, because what I wanna show you is that there are some things that are gonna be different in Canva versus Photoshop. So let me just give you an example of that here. All right, so remember it had that little image on her shirt there for the sweatshirt? Say I'm gonna make that larger. And then I can go up to edit photo and I can do magic eraser. And I can just select this area that's got that image on the shirt and it can erase. Now I'll show you how to do all this in Photoshop as well. And that's gonna be the look you want there. Now, in order to do some of the advanced techniques that we're gonna do in Photoshop, you have to do so many workarounds in Canva that I'm not gonna show you that. I will show you that Canva has some very powerful tools that will blow your mind as far as especially a very simple to use interface will do. For instance, if I do, mm, 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 you can do magic expand and actually expand the background. I can do magic grab. Hold on a second. Magic grab, and it tends to grab the foreground separate from the background. So let's say if I want some text on here to talk about my party favors and stuff, what it's doing right now is it's separating my foreground from my background. So maybe I could put my text over here, or maybe I could put her here and put my text over here. Pretty cool, right? So that's a feature that is in Canva, very powerful feature. You could also expand the background. So let's say that's your background right there. Same thing we do in Photoshop. I'm just showing you some ways you can do that in Canva. So now we can edit the photo and we can expand the background. And I'm going to tell it the whole page and just expand it. And then that way, if you have something that is, portrait style or landscape style, you can fill it out with what looks like it would be original to that image. And there we go. And when I get one that I want, I can select which version. I think that one is best. I can hit done. And there is my model now with my newly generated background. All right, so those are just some cool things you can do in Canva. Now, what you'll notice, especially for our images that have our couple, so that's another thing I wanted to show you. Let's go to one of our couple images. So we say we're focusing on heavily on Valentine's Day, right? Oh, these came out looking so nice. All right, so remember I told you I like this image, but whenever we have a person's shoulder kind of over here, in Canva, it's very difficult to cut off an image and make it look like, it's still a part of that image. But we can do this in Photoshop. So I'm going to take this image. I'll use this as my hoodie image because I think this will be more compelling. So let's open that in browser. I kind of don't like these little mini balloons look kind of weird. I'm just noticing that. I might change that up. Um, I don't know, the little tiny balloons. I guess it's cute, but it looks a little unrealistic and weird to me. This one he's in. So let me go with that one. Yeah, because then I can still show you that the graphic needs to be changed in there. So let's go ahead and open in browser. Save image as. And this one, they need to do something. We need to do something with these teeth here. So let me undo that. He looked like he got all he looked like he got all bottom teeth at the top. I didn't notice that, Taz. I'll show y'all in a little bit. She might as well go ahead and fix her mouthpiece too. Let's see. What? Select the larger area, but it's just their mouths. Okay, fine. I don't know how it doesn't like to do faces. Like once it develops a face, it gets a little weird when you tell it to do something else to a face, but we shall see. All right. So I'm attempting to see here if we have a better version. Let me see. Did it fix the teeth in some of these? Yeah. I really like this one, but I'm not sure is his hand in a mitten or what. I could crop that out. Let me see. Let me upscale number one here. And his hoodie is not actually white in this one. It's a little like off-white pinkish. Y'all, this is fun stuff. This is the fun stuff you run into with AI. And that's why I'm here to show you that it's not just AI that's going to do the work for you. You got to understand some ways that you can use Photoshop in order to edit your images. All right, let me see what it did for me. I'm scrolling. Nope. It still gave me all bottom teeth for the tops. Okay. All right, so this gave me a little variation. I think I can handle one of these. Looks like this is his wedding ring hand on this side instead of hers. I'm just not noticing that. Doesn't that look like the man's hand right here instead of hers? Lord have mercy. All right, so let me upscale. I like this one because he looks a little happier. Here he's like, Here he's like, yeah. I'm just trying to show all my bottom teeth at the top. All right, so let's go ahead and go with upscale. All right, and then like I said, we could vary that region if we're like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it kind of gave her the man hand right there. Let me see what I can do about that. And even then, it's still showing some of his teeth grinning through there. I don't like that. I apologize, y'all, but I'm not going to use something as a mock-up where people are paying more attention to his bottom teeth at the top than anything else. So yeah, we're not going to do that one. And this one look like his teeth are on top of his lips. We're not going to do that one either. See, we go upscale number two. And then the other thing is, if it's just overall just not looking good to me, I'm just going to vary it. I'll vary it subtle and I will vary it strong and it will give me something hopefully better than what it gave me. And here, I'm going to show y'all on the screens because you can see better if you don't upscale it. Like here, it looks like it gave me all bottom teeth at the top. Yeah, so since I wasn't really, unless maybe he's smiling with his bottom teeth, which that is possible too. But it's just it disturbs me a little bit when I see it, and it distracts me. Not disturbs me, it distracts me. So I don't want anything detracting from my design. My fire design is going to be on that shirt. Okay, so it looks like this one redid it better with the smile. This one did okay with the hands. All right, I think I may have found one that works. And even this one works. All right, so in either one, we're gonna have to clean it up because it has an image on the shirt and we don't want the image on the shirt. All right, so image 2 for this one, I believe. Oh, no, 1 for this one. All right. It seems like it just wants to give me some difficult teeth here. All right, this one looks okay. All right, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with this one. And you could also, if I wanted to vary a region, and let's say his hairstyle, you want it to be shorter or whatever, and her hairstyle, you want it to maybe have braids or something. Now it should do this, but I'm not sure. So if we tell it that we want her to have braids or bob, mm-mm-mm, she is wearing, or she has a braided bob hairstyle. All right, we're gonna let that cook. All right, my loves. Well, this is definitely fun and interesting. And this one wasn't bad. It just kind of put like his teeth on top of the lips. This one I actually really like. Nope, it's not giving me my braided bob. So I'm gonna rock with this one right now. And I'm gonna go ahead and open in browser and download it. All right. So we're gonna start with our single image here. And we'll go on into the simplest one would be something like what I just showed you on Canva. All right, so same thing here. I'm going to show you exactly how I would remove this image here. So I'm using the lasso tool here, just selecting around there. And you can just hit generative fill and generate. Most of the time it's going to understand when you want to remove something. But I really like how on her pants it has the dimensional designs there. Really cool. All right, so that's it. I'm going to go ahead and merge that down because that looks good to me. And then what I can do is start figuring out what area I'm going to use to design my shirt. So this is a sweatshirt. And the other thing is you can upscale this image too, which I should have upscaled it before I brought it out. And
The
let me show you
recording
the
has
difference there.
stopped.
Okay, so let me show you the difference
This
between
meeting
when
is being recorded.
let's go back to our unicorn area. Oh, and it did give me one where it took the image out. But let me get exactly the one that I upscaled so I can show you the difference. So this one here, I can upscale it 4x. And what it does is it creates an image that's going to be higher quality. You can also upscale inside of Photoshop. You can upscale with, I use Topaz Labs to upscale images. And there are several online services that upscale images as well. All right, so it's looking at like it's taking a little time with this one, so I'm going to let it take its time here. I just want to show you the difference in quality when you upscale and when you don't. What I'm going to do now, this is something you won't be able to do in Canva. So when I tell you there are benefits to learning Photoshop, there are some really true benefits to learning Photoshop. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the quick selection tool here. And I'm going to use the cloud. And I'm just hovering over the sweatshirt area, pushing down on my mouse to select more because it is on the addition mode where you see the plus sign up top here. Add to the selection. And I'm going to select even where her hair is right now because I want to make sure the color gets underneath that. All right, and then I'm gonna go with the negative here. So the subtract from the selection in order to take away a little bit down here. It gave me a little bit too much into the pants there and a little bit too much into this background. All right, now I'm gonna choose select a mask. And this will give me an idea here of how clean. Oh Lord, don't do it. Well, Photoshop is about to shut down. So let me tell it not to send a report because it doesn't matter. It's not going to stop it from crashing. And I'm going to do that one more time. As a matter of fact, this is a good time for me to show you what to do when that happens. Usually it means you have a lot of resources running. And I do have live stream on right now. I have my Canva open. I have Discord open. And then I also have Photoshop running and Google Chrome browser with several tabs open. So I'm going to reduce some of these tabs here. I'm going to show you what happens when Photoshop quits on you like this. Whenever you're using the AI inside of Photoshop, this happens too. So what I want to do is I'm going to go to Edit, Preferences, General. And this is like wiping the memory of your Photoshop so it functions better. And I'm going to go to Performance. Oh, my performance was not set to 90, which it should have been. From the last time I reset it, I think I forgot to do this. So you want to make sure your performance is set up to 90. And then also I can tell it if I go to general that I want to reset preferences on quit, hit OK, and then I quit Photoshop. That's going to reset my preferences. So when I open Photoshop again, I'm just going to make sure that it's on 90% performance rather than 70%, because once it tries to push past 70%, it will crash on you because it doesn't have enough brain power or thought power there. All right, so we'll let that open back up. In the meanwhile, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and close out of Canva as well because I know that's eating up some resources. Oh, yeah, and I have Zoom going too. So just imagine you can really push your systems. All right, so now I'm going to open this image again. I did my upscale. Cool, cool. Perfect. Now, y'all saw how I selected it without the upscale. Now let's see how it looks selecting it with the upscale. And you can see that the image gets a lot bigger. See how much bigger it gets? All right, so I'm going to save the image as. There we go. And I'm going to shut down right now my Discord. The way that you really make sure it's shut down is over here in your panel. I'm going to quit Discord. That way it won't be running because Discord does run some heavy energy from your computer as well. To open up that image here. All right, and same thing here. We're going to remove this image from here. Just do generative fill. Now I have to, it thinks I'm brand new to the AI options in Photoshop because I refreshed my whole Photoshop. And also, if your printer ever shuts down on you when you try to print, you have to do those same exact steps. All right, this looks good to me. I'm going to go ahead and merge down. And let me make sure I get my workspace together. There we go. Let's merge it down. All right, much higher resolution here, so it should actually be easier to even select the image on the outside. So we use the quick selection tool. And real quick, I'm going to make sure with my preferences, I'm going to go to Edit Preferences and go to General. Then I'm going to go to my performance and crank this up to 90 because when I reset it, it definitely does not set that back to 90. All right, so I shouldn't have any more any more issues with my images. Let's go ahead and select here. It looks like it's doing a cleaner job of selecting too since my image is upscaled. All right. So now what I can do is I can take that specific area. I'm going to go to select a mask. And I like to turn on the overlay, which is red. And then I like to crank the opacity of the overlay up just to make sure this looks like a good cutout here. And sometimes you may have to smooth this cutout area just a little bit, or maybe even feather it, depending on how grainy and grungy it looks. But the higher the resolution, the better. And I'm going to shift the edge out just a little bit. All right. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to output this to a new layer. And I'll do a new layer with the layer mask. Okay. So now if I turn the background on, you'll see it, but this is my sweatshirt all by itself. Now, what I can do with this is a few things if I really want to create a nice mock-up now, and not everybody's going to go through all these steps to make a mock-up. Okay. So that's why I'm going through this now to like really give you an in-depth process. So if I want to change the color of her shirt, I can create a solid color here. Let's say I want it to be pink. I'm just going to make it any color right now, and I can get specific with my pink later. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a group and take this layer mask and put it on that group. Okay, so now I can get a little specific with what I want here. Now with this layer mask, I can see here that it kind of left out a little bit of the sweater here. So I can go back with my pen tool and I can kind of add to this area here, which really and truly the pen tool should be your best friend when it comes to creating mockups. But that quick selection tool is just too easy not to try to use. So now I'm just cleaning up just a little bit where I see that it missed a tiny bit of color here. And I'm clicking and dragging with the pen tool. And this is just allowing me to pick up some of the area that it didn't pick up before. I can turn that into a selection. And now I can grab my brush tool here. And I want this to be white inside of here, completely white. Increase my brush size there. And then I'm just coloring in. Got a little too crazy over there on that side. And I'm just adding to the selection there. All right. So that for the color here, one thing that I like to do is I like to play with whether I'm going to use the image to color or the color to color the image. And the best example of that is to take your blend mode. This is why I like to do white and put it on multiply. That's like the easy peasiest way to change the color of your mockups. Okay, if you designed it in white, you can easily change those colors up like that. Now it looks like I might need to do a little bit of cleaning up around here. So I would use my brush tool, grab my brush tool there, make it a lot smaller. Brushing right here on top of my layer mask, though I'm not coloring on my image. And here I need to take some away. So I'm going to hold down Alt, or you can, oh no, it's on my paintbrush tool. So on my selection here, I can just turn it black instead of white. And I'm just kind of cleaning that up a little bit manually, but it is cleaning it up. And you'll see that the color is kind of going over her hair right now. I'm not so concerned with that. I could clean that up later, or I could even put her sweatshirt in front of her hair so that that's not going to be an issue. But that looks like that is it right there. See, I took a little too much off and come back, grab my white and paint it right back. And typically I would not be doing this with my mouse, I would either be doing this with the pen tool or literally with my stylus that I have that goes on my touchscreen computer. All right. But that looks good. So now I can change this color to anything that I see here or anything that I can imagine. Or I can go look up the Pantone colors for any shirt. If this is supposed to be the Gildan 18,000, then I can go grab those colors. So this is 18,000. I can go to the product details. Actually, the spec sheet, I think, is what's going to be best for us. Let's go to the product spec sheet. And let's say I want to do this safety pink right here, or maybe this light pink. I can grab that Pantone color. That's what the PMS stands for. Pantone color. And I can paste that and tell it that I wanted it in hex. Little Googlage helping me out. I can grab this hex code number now, copy it, and then paste the hex code number right here. Boom. And that's going to give me that color that I need for that particular color offering that Gildan offers. Now, if it looks a little weird here, you can adjust the colors by doing a hue saturation, levels change, anything like that. So here, for instance, if I change my levels and I want it to be a little bit more intense color, I could choose to do that. Now, what I like to do to add a little more dimension to my design, depending on if I'm doing all over or not, then what I'll do is I'll actually take this sweater image and put it on top of my image also, so the shadows even deepen. Let's go ahead and let me choose a different color here, just because I don't like the pink on pink. Let's go with the light blue instead. Same process here. I'm just going to paste the Pantone color, then put hex. And the AI version did not give me a good explanation, but this one did. Copy that hex code. Paste it here. Yeah, I like the blue much better. And now I don't even need those levels on there because I think it actually looks better without them. And if you have a design that's ready to go, now you can paste that design there. So we would do file, place embedded, and let me see if I have anything just randomly ready. I worked on a little love design for y'all that I think we're going to do for our Valentine's. So let me pull that up. Emma, Levi, have y'all seen my hoodie, my love hoodie? Can you check in the bathroom for me, please? So this is what I want us to develop for our next AI class. We're going to develop some love characters. So I'm going to put this one on here. Yep.
The Christmas one?
Yep.
Right.
So we did one for Christmas, but we're going to do some Valentine's Day theme ones. And we created thank you, baby. Thank you. We created the Grinch characters, and they have on the little buffalo plaid. I don't know if you can see them, or I guess I can put it here. Having a little buffalo plaid. And then also these letters we generated in AI. So the L and the E we generated AI. And Then I made this an all over-ish hoodie. I love these all over-ish hoodie designs that I do. So I did basically an elbow patch, all over-ish on the sleeves. I even did the drawstrings with the pattern on them. Did an all over-ish hoodie splash design. So you don't have to do the whole hoodie on the inside and outside, but it kind of gives you something where your makeup isn't rubbing off on the pure white there. Ask me how I know. And then I also went towards the bottom and put the print down there as well. So pretty much it's not an all over hoodie, but it's an all over ish hoodie. So this will kind of give you an idea of how that goes. Now, if I want this image to look like it has the shadows and placement, then I have to I'm going to grab this image here. I'm going to place it above. Remember, we had this version of it. And then I'm going to choose multiply for this one. Okay. And you may not see it right now, but what it's going to do is wherever I have these, wherever I have my shadows, I choose my levels here, create a clipping mask, kind of darken that a little bit, change my opacity a little bit here, and then let me move my image here so you can see what I'm talking about. Make sure auto select is turned off and show transform controls is turned on. And this one is a little difficult to see. You can see like a little the wrinkles in his face, but where it's black, you won't see it at all. But this is showing you that you can actually have your shadows and your creases go over your image. Now, usually if you're mocking up, so let's say you're mocking up in Canva or even on Photoshop, if your image is this small, you don't even have to worry about like whether your shadows go over stuff. It makes it look more believable. I would just tell you to make your image opacity be like 90%, maybe even 80%, depending on how dark your image is. That way it looks a little more believable. And in this one, I like my image a little more vibrant. So 86 is still giving me enough vibrancy, but you don't want to have it at 100% opacity because no print is really going to be 100%. Maybe if you have a lot of white behind a DTF, that would be 100% print, like where you see no color behind it. All right, so I'm turning that back on now. And just simply, if you didn't want to like have the extra texture on top of it, you could just lay your image on here, just like that, and it's your mock-up. Now, I would tell you that you're going to end up, if you do this method with the shadows, you're going to end up having to clean up a little bit more because it gets more harsh. So this is going to be your simple, cleanest way to create a color mock-up shirt, put whatever image you want on it, and keep going. But you're just going to have to play with how clean you make your cutout around it. So with that said, I'm going to do the hoodie. So let me save this one. All right, so let me do the hoodie. And the hoodie is going to be the same exact process, except you're going to cut out where the strings are, cut that out of your layer mask. So let's get into it real quick. I'm going to grab the top here and also kind of add in where her hair is there. Select the mask. I'm moving a little faster now because I'm not really explaining the same exact steps that I did before. Do Control J to copy and paste that hoodie there. Then I can, if I only want to just put an image on this white shirt, and let's say you made your hoodies whatever colors you wanted, then I can drag and drop my image here. And of course, it's going to be, those strings are going to be in the way there. So what I would do is Control G, create a grouped folder where this is where my image is going to be. So my image is inside of there, but these strings need to be cleared so that the strings actually go in front of the image. So what I'll do is use my pen tool here. I believe I showed y'all this before when I did the back to school mockups and created them from AI. Anytime I do a hoodie with the strings, I pretty much extract my strings like this. That's one string there. And actually make that a selection with a 1 pixel radius there. I may have, let me go back a second. I'm going to do 0 pixels just because this is already a little pixelated. And then what I'm going to do right now is just to save a little space for what I just did. I'm going to paint that, fill that in with just black. Paint bucket, let's fill it in with black. All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing over here to this one. I'm going to use my pen tool and I'm clicking and dragging to create these curves. Now this is really and truly a very advanced Photoshop process whenever you're creating mockups with this level of detail. So I don't want y'all to, think that you can't do it, but it is definitely, it takes a little more detail. All right, so here I'm going to do the same thing, turn that into a selection, and I'm going to fill it with the color black just so I can see where it goes. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this selection here and I'm going to hold down Control and I click on the thumbnail for where my drawstrings are. Now I have that selected. I'm going to select the inverse of it. So select inverse. And then on this image inside folder, I'm going to create a layer mask. Turn off my drawstrings that I made here. Turn on my image here, and you can see the strings go in front of the image. No matter where I move the image, the strings go in front. And that's it. So that was the magic that I wanted to show you tonight. The simplest thing that you're going to do with your mockups is to just take your mockups as is. You didn't have to do any of this extra stuff here. I can group all of this, turn it off. And at the end of the day, if all you want to do is just use your mockup just like this, throw your image on there, especially if you're doing sublimation in white, throw your image on there, change your blend mode to multiply. If you're doing white, bring your opacity down to about 86. And boom. You don't even have to create a layer mask or any of that stuff. That's what everybody's doing in Canva. So when they bring something in Canva, they're just literally bringing the exact image in, putting the image on top of it, possibly changing the opacity just a little bit and bringing it down in size so it doesn't interfere with anything. The problem that I see with mockups on Canva is that they don't have it to where the drawstrings are going to be where the image goes behind it. A simple way to do that in Canva would be to duplicate the image. And literally, I don't know if it would be simple. You would have to cut out everything except for the drawstrings, pretty much like I did with the pen tool, and then create a separate layer where those drawstrings are locked and always on top of every image. So this shows you that there are some benefits to Photoshop. There's some crazy ways that you can create mockups and even regenerate different colors and be able to do so much more. Like I can make this an all over now. And speaking of which, I can take that. I can open up my little Grinchman stuff here. Let me show you how real quick I can turn this into a mock-up for all overs. All right, so this is one of the files I have for y'all, but I just want to make this real quick. Like, this was one of my little files that I was playing with for y'all. Mhm. All right. Let's go ahead and take that and put it over on our mock-up here. And let's say I want to mock up my all over-ish. Then I can take that little piece there. That's about the size that it is. I can put it on the sleeves like I want to. Put it on the other sleeve, following the direction of the sleeve there, of course. I have it going across the bottom as well. Then I have some elbow patches on the back, going across the hoodie at the top, all of that good stuff. And what I think would be easier here is to make this go completely over the bottom and the sleeves at one time. All right, and then what I can do is I can drag this up now to this little area here. It's going to clip it inside of the sweater. I'm going to change my blend mode. Opacity to about 86, blend mode to multiply. And then I'm going to turn off the blue here because this is white and black sublimation here. And this is where I was saying it helps to have your shadows on top, because now my shadows on top, kind of, I can see it through the pattern here. So with the shadows on top, I am seeing my little creases and my seams and stuff. Okay, so that is something that you can do here that you won't be able to do in Canva. Just showing you some tips and tricks. So that was it. That's all. Did we get over 1,000 prompts tonight, Levi? Awesome. Let's check it out. Let me hop back on my Discord. See what we've been doing. See what we've been working on. You had to turn Discord off while I was working on all of this. All right, let's see what we got going on. Let me type in the word fast here. Most of us are using fast. Yes, so we have plenty. We have over 881 results, which most of our results are 4x'd. So that is definitely over 1,000. That's all. That's over 3,000. So what I want you all to do inside of here, since we learned what it is to mock up, why we're mocking it up, it's going to relate to our avatars. I want to make sure that we fill up these rooms, so so that we have our Martin Luther King and Black History Month is coming right up. We have Valentine's Day. Let's make sure that we're getting Valentine's Day for the kids, and then also for the adults. That's something coming right around the corner. Also, graduation. Let's make sure that we have some mock-ups in that area. All right. And Easter, it'll be here before we know it. Beautiful work here. You also have your sports. So know that baseball and softball are coming back up very, very quickly. Track and field will be here before we know it. Of course, we have dance here. We have Mother's Day. So let's make sure that we're doing some Mother's Day related images. Those will be around the corner. and family reunion, because people start ordering their family reunion stuff way earlier than the actual season. Okay, so if we at least go ahead and start prompting and building these out, we're going to have something to go by. And of course, all of the other things that you're building out, as far as and these are the evergreen things, like you have your girls trip. That's evergreen. It's not just in the summer. You have girls trips all year round. You have weddings all year round. You have memorial all year round. So we definitely want to make sure that we have mock-ups for all of these occasions. Okay. Cafe one, let's check on Emma. All right, the cafe is looking good, Emma. Very, very good. All right, so we have some work to do to build out a little bit more in these rooms, but from here on out, if you don't see a mock-up speaking to your ideal client or your avatar, we have no excuses now. We know exactly how to make them, and we know exactly how to put images on them and create our own mock-ups from scratch. So with the power of AI and the power of Photoshop, nothing can stop you. All right, we're all the way up. All right, my love. So took a lot out of you though. That's good. That means you put a lot in. You left it all on the field. Good job, Coach Emma. All right, so we will be meeting again on Tuesday. We're going to be working on our Valentine's art. And now you know how to do your mock-ups. Now you know what to do with your art. We will be able to work these AI rooms every single week with just more and more skills on top of it. And then on Wednesday we'll resume our regular Photoshop class. So you'll be taking the images that you design in AI on Monday, or usually on Monday, this particular time because Monday is a holiday. Unless on New Year's y'all just want to work. We're trying to give you a day off. So on Tuesday, we'll do our AI in action, but every Monday after that is when we'll do our AI in action. So every Wednesday is when we do our Photoshop class. Okay. Customer happiness is posting the schedule change there for the holiday, and that will give you a good indication of what we have going on. So that is it. That is all, my loves. I actually invited everyone that's a member to this AI class for free because I wanted you to understand the power of AI. And I also wanted you to understand how much I love and I appreciate you all. And I wanted to give something back. Even if you are not a regular attendee of the AI in Action classes, you have this now on your back end for free. Watch the video replay if you're not here in the room tonight, and you can actually contribute, and you can go in this room just like we did today. And this room never closes. It's open 24/7. Go in here and let us see what you can do with your AI powers. All right, my loves, I appreciate you and I love you dearly. And until next time, bye. Good night, y'all.